Brothers Bank.
Hey, may I have your number? No, I'm not coming on to you. I'm talking about your other number, your credit score. Joining us on this Money Monday with tips on how to better your score, rain or shine, is Howard Dvorkin, chairman of Debt.com. When we talk about credit scores, let's kind of dig into the past a little bit. Just before we got started, we were reminiscing about the recession that the country went through back in 2008. Now we fast forward to the pandemic. A lot of people lost their jobs, but there's a slight difference between these two experiences. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Well, there's a massive difference because during what I call the not so great recession, everything, money froze up, the banks froze up. Fast forward 15 years or so, and this recession, and by the way, we are in a recession, the government had the foresight to fund a lot of people and give stimulus out to businesses and help a lot of people. Unfortunately, that help is starting to dissipate and will dry up over the next few months. Once January comes about, the people that are receiving subsidies from the government, whether it's actual cash from unemployment, whether it's deferral of your mortgage payment, your rent payment, your student loans, or even your credit card payments and your car payments are being deferred. All of a sudden, January, game over. You're going to have to come back and pay for a lot of things. And we are warning people at Debt.com, don't fall into the trap. If you're saving money, don't spend it, because you're going to need to resume full payments in January.
When you talk about savings, we're not very good savers in this country. But what do you think is the best plan of action, the best plan of attack on getting those bills up to date with limited resources? I mean, how do you do that?
I mean, first of all, it's communication. You have to reach out to your creditors that you owe and figure out a plan on how to make sure that those bills are being paid and that they don't have negative effects on your credit reports. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these creditors were nice enough, and I say that in quotations, not to accept payments or make you make payments, but they are still charging you very high interest rates at the same time. Because they're deferring the payment doesn't mean that they're not charging you the 20 or 25% interest rates. So if you're have a 5-year car payment and they deferred your car payment for 6 months, now you have a 5.5-year car payment, so to speak.
And if you have a lease on your car and you defer the payment, you're going to be giving the car back, but then you've got 2 more months of payment that you're going to have to pay on something you're not even
That could very well happen, and that is happening. I mean, people need to figure out a budget, and in order to make sure that they have enough funds to pay for the bills that they have. And it's going to be a very big challenge, because a lot of people are used to having an extra $1,000 or $2,000 in the bank. And frankly, that $2,000 in the bank, if you're not paying your mortgage, your car payment, your student loans, is not there. We have seen at Debt.com, people are actually taking that extra $2,000, a lot of people, and spending it. They're going to stores that they would normally not go to because they have extra money. At the same time, and I want to note that some of your viewers have been very good. $76 billion has been paid down against outstanding credit card bills. And historically, that's the largest drop in credit card balances in the history of this country.
That's an impressive number, and this is a perfect place to take a break. So when we come back, I want to talk more about the credit score. It may not be fantastic, but you can keep it at least mediocre until you get things paid off. We're going to talk about that after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back on this Money Monday. We've been chatting with Howard Dvorkin, chairman for Debt.com. We've been talking about not only paying back the debt that has been postponed during the pandemic, which has been helpful for a lot of people not to put out that money while they didn't have the money coming in. This kept credit scores buoyed. So what do you think is the best way for people to get those bills paid, keep their credit score up high? You said communication's key.
Communication with your creditors is certainly key. You want to protect your credit score. My advice right now is don't wait till January. Start now. Start planning out. Start making payments.
If you make a call and you say, listen, I'm not getting the income that I had before, can I either option for a lower interest rate? Can I lower my payment each month? Are credit cards actually willing to do this?
You have to be careful when you reach out to the credit card companies, because doing so, they may deem that as a risk, and they may terminate your ability to charge further on that card. The reality is, yes, credit cards are willing to work with consumers to an extent. I would highly recommend that somebody go to either a Debt.com or a credit counseling agency to get advice, or just to understand what needs to happen. And maybe it's time to reevaluate and take inventory of your finances right now and figure out a plan. The reality is people must plan and execute that plan in order to get out of debt. Getting out of debt takes time. And regardless if it's a mortgage, if it's car payment, student loan, or credit cards, they need a plan on what to do and how to do it. So there are no free lunches. The best advice I can give a consumer is use cash. You remember the green stuff? Yeah, use that stuff. But if you don't have any of that green stuff coming between your fingers, use a debit card, because that's the same thing. When you use credit cards, it's the entree to get somebody in trouble, because consumers in general have the best intentions. I'll pay this off next month. But then again, next month comes and they don't have the ability to pay it off, although they have the desire, and then it keeps going and on, and it accumulates interest. So people really have to get back to spending what they have instead of financing a lifestyle that they can't afford.
Howard, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. And for those who are finding themselves in a catch-22 and they need help, where do they go? How do they find you, and how do they find your experts?
Well, the experts are at Debt.com. The fact of the matter is there's a tremendous amount of information on our website that can help people. And you don't even have to talk to us, but go to the website, get educated. Education is key when it comes to finance. So Debt.com.
Perfect. Howard, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Larry.